Shout out Near Falls with D Hall's podcast.
Welcome to Near Falls with D Hall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, it's just Near Falls with D Hall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. Talking Near Falls with D Hall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl.
All right, joining me now on the call, we have head coach of McGuffey Area High School, Mr. Jared Roberts. How are you, sir?
Good. How's it going?
Doing real well indeed. So pumped to have you on. First time, I believe, having you on for a coach's preview, right?
Yeah. I'm excited to get started with this and kind of give you a heads up of our season and what we're looking forward to this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You guys had, if you will, a turn back the clocks type season last year for McGuffey. Fantastic year. You guys, finished in the top 4 all the way out there in Peters Township and, had some fantastic individuals, placed very highly at the end of the year. So just give me, your off-season program. How have you built it this year to prepare these guys for the start of the season?
The season's a grind. Wrestling season's tough. It's a grind. It lasts long. So once the season's over, springtime, I know freestyle's in full gear. So I kind of let the guys do their own thing. If they choose to wrestle freestyle or not, there's many clubs out there. So just starting with that, I kind of let them choose that way. Plus, that gives me a little bit of a break in the spring because, it's a lot on these kids, but there's a lot of preparation and time and effort that goes in on the coaching end as well. So I kind of take a little break in the spring, and then we get started back up at the summertime. We have done some camps in the past, but they weren't always as successful as we would like to. Mm-hmm. So, I sent out some camps for the kids to go to if they would choose to, kind of on their own. And then in the summertime, we started some off-season workouts, and I ran it at our school. It was just a day a week. It was all the way from K to 12. My son's in the youth program, so it kind of benefited me as well as the whole program. I like to have, the youth, junior high, and varsity. So we did that one day a week throughout the summer. And then once the fall sports got in, being a small school, we share a lot of athletes. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our guys were either playing football or soccer or cross country, things like that. So we took another little break through September, and then we started back up pretty heavy here in October into November here. 3 days a week, we've been doing preseason workouts at the school.
Give me an alumni report. Do you have anyone doing anything at the next level right now?
Yeah, actually, we had 2 seniors last year, and in a way, they're both going to be involved in wrestling this year. Damian Pavarnik went on to Waynesburg University, in my old school that I went to.
A school you're familiar with, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with. So, and actually, I'm going down there Friday to watch a match. There's an alumni match going, so I'm excited to see that. And he should be competing for Waynesburg. And then Reed Teagarden was also a senior. He chose to go right to the workforce. But what's great is he's going to come back and help us out with coaching, and he's going to help out in the junior high. He's going to be the assistant coach in junior high. So we're going to get him right back in the room.
Yeah, obviously, as well as I do. Some of those junior high period is very, very important to just keep those kids from youth and try to get them to the high school level.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's that gap in between there. Those are really important years, for building technique and learning the right things. And, it's a big change from youth to junior high. So it's an important step there.
All right. Let's talk about the schedule, man. Obviously, like I said before, you had a fantastic year last year. How are you going to try to build, or what have you done with your schedule this year to try to build your success for not only team-wise, but individual-wise at the end of the year?
Well, I thought our schedule worked out pretty good for us last year. So we're sticking to a pretty similar schedule. It's just with the way things have gone, since I wrestled, dual meets aren't as popular as they used to be. I would have liked to had a few more, but it was just hard scheduling some dual meets, whether it be home or away. Teams are getting away from that, and they want to get more into the team tournaments, the team duels, or just individual tournaments. And I know why. Kids are getting more matches on that than dual meets. So we don't quite have as many duels this year. We did pick up a tournament over Christmas break. It's just a one-day tournament. I think the Penn Hills Classic. We're going to go there. But other than that, as far as tournaments are, we're going to start, I think it's December 6th, that first Saturday, or I guess it'd be the second Saturday. We open up at the John Marshall Duels, and we always like going there because it's all schools from out of state. And it's kind of nice seeing them that first weekend. And really, that school, they border us. They're in West Virginia right next to us. So it's not that far of a drive, but it's kind of different. I think it's the same weekend as the Sharks Houston tournament, which I would be interested in going to it, but just a lot of local schools with teams.
I'm going to say you see them schools like week in and week out, probably 5
right.
times, right?
Yeah, and that's the only reason why we don't look into that more. And then we're also going to the Panther Classic, which is a tough tournament at Mount Aloysius College. Penn Cambria hosts that. I think there's about 50 schools there. We had a really good showing last year. We took third. So we're looking, we want to do just as well, or if not better this year with the group of guys we had. We're going back to Tricata. We had a great showing there last year. It was the first time we ever won that
for you guys. That was when I interviewed you guys.
Yeah,
that was awesome, man. First time, right?
Yeah. It was the first time we ever won that. So, I think the goals are all the same, if not better, as last year. We want to achieve everything we did last year. We're going back to Virginia Duels. That was a good experience for us. It was kind of our first time ever going down there and seeing something like that. And I think it was a great tournament to be able to take everyone to. Everyone gets matches, but as well as like our higher level guys that, we think have a shot at the state tournament. It's in an arena style setting. So, you get to see that. And some of the matches you get to wrestle side by side with Division I college wrestling. So it's a good experience for those kids to see. And then we're going to close the tournament end of the year with the Fred Bell Classic. We go to that at Grove City, which it's a good solid tournament. More and more District 7 WPIAL teams are getting into it. A good mix of AA and AAA. A lot of good tough District 10 teams, and some District 6 teams are going. So it's a good solid tournament to go to towards the end of the year there, right before postseason.
Give me a guy that, obviously you've had the bars of the world on your squad that everyone knows going into a match that, this is your hammer. Give me a guy that maybe at the end of the year, or right now we don't know, but by the end of the year, we will 100% know his name.
Well, with that, I kind of got to give shout out to all my seniors, because I think we have like 11 or 12 seniors. We're really senior heavy this year. So the seniors that, are known, you got your Lucas Barr, Emmett Wolf. They're both returning state qualifiers. Garrett Newman, he was a match away from states last year. Victor Bonus, he's closing in on 100 wins. And Aaron Supler, another tough senior. So those are all guys that I think have legitimate shots of making it to the state tournament at the end of the year. If they work hard and things go well this year. But then we also have a couple underclassmen like Clayton Neely and Tucker Main. And they're juniors, but they're quiet leaders. They lead by example in the room. They work really hard. They bust their butt every day. One that a lot of people might not know about and could possibly be a disappointment for us this year is Gage Clayton. He's a sophomore. He made it to WPIAL tournament last year, and I think he might have been like a match away from placing. He just worked really hard and kept getting better and better as the year went on. He had some damage to his knee in football season. So unfortunately, he may not be in the lineup this year. We'll fully know here within the next month or so.
Like you talked about, in a small school, you have, multiple sports, just sharing athletes. That's just kind of the nature of the business.
Yeah, and we had a tough football season this year. Our team was very young. We were, I believe, the smallest school in AAA in the whole WPIAL. So the reclassification goes in next year, so that might change. They might be double A next year. It was a tough year for them. So it's kind of like it's hard them playing because they're getting beat up and so forth. But you need the guys to go out there on the football field as well and support them.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, give me some leaders, some guys that you're going to be leaning on in the room this year.
I think pretty much the guys that I mentioned, like our seniors, Lucas Barr, Emmett Wolf, Garrett Newman, Victor Bonus, Aaron Subler. We're looking for those seniors to step up and show good leadership skills in the room, as well as, your 2 returning state qualifiers. We had 4 total returning state qualifiers, but 2 of them were Clayton Ely and Tucker Main. I mean, you don't have to be a senior to be a leader. I tell these guys that. And you don't always have to be the most vocal guy in the room. If you work hard and, you push yourself every day and you're pushing your practice partner, sometimes that's better than guys that are, more vocal, not working as hard. And we get that with Clayton and Tucker a lot of times.
Love that. Coaching staff, what's that look like for you?
We got everyone coming back from last year. The main coaches, obviously myself, Rich Burdault, he's going to be helping out in the varsity. Ever since I took the head coaching position, he's been my assistant. When I was in high school, he was a head coach at Wash High at Washington. So he's very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff. He's been involved in wrestling for a long time. Nick Whipke, another guy. He's a McGuffey alum. He helped out last year. He brings a lot of enthusiasm to the room. The kids really enjoy having him around. And, anytime we need somebody to strap up and roll around the room, he's ready to go. And then we have a couple dads like Judd Wolf. He helps out. Brittany Ely, he's another guy that helps out. And somebody else that we are looking forward to getting in the room too is Lucas Barr's brother, Ethan Barr. He graduated a few years back. He took 6th in the state.
I remember Ethan. Absolutely.
He was tough. He'll be another guy that, he'll strap up the shoes and help out as well. And being the high school coach, I oversee the junior high as well. We have a veteran coach in Jay Travis. He's been there since I've been head coach, and even before that when I was an assistant. He does a great job with our junior high. Our numbers are looking great. We're thinking we might have into the 30s in junior high for a AA program. In my opinion, that's excellent.
That is fantastic, my friend.
That's a great feeder program coming forward. So the future continues to look bright. Like I said, Reed Teagarden is going to be helping out, and in junior high, a guy that just graduated last year. So he's a nice. It's good to have a mix of older people that have been there for a while as well as the younger kids. Because I know what it was like when I was younger. You can relate a little bit better with kids when you're younger and you're their age group. As well as Marshall Mounts, he's been helping out. I don't know if you remember his name. He graduated, I think, in 2018 or 19. I think he was like 215.
Great period there. But
he was a match away from making it to the state tournament. Okay. He's a sub at one of our elementary schools full time, so we're going to get him in there and things. Awesome. I'm really excited for the future. Things are just looking great.
That's awesome, man. I love it, and you guys are a program that obviously you have great tradition, great history, but went through a little bit of a lull period. But certainly, as you've mentioned there, the future is bright. All right. Glue guy, give me someone that you walk in the room, all the kids love, all the coaches love. This is the guy that brings a smile to your face.
You talking about wrestler, coach?
Well, I guess it could be anyone in the program. I just had the Canon Mac. Jordan Mayer said it was a coach for him, so you could do coach.
I can imagine which coach that is. Well, I guess you could say somebody that brings a lot of enthusiasm and fun and jokingness would be Lucas Barr. He has that. It's always turning someone's head. You don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. But as far as a coach, I'd say like just building relationships with the kids. The kids laugh, joke around, have a good time. For us on varsity would be like Nick Whipke. Bringing him in last year was a big help. to the program with just little things, wrestling's a grind. There's a lot of things I tell people that's not fun about it. I know that. But that's part of what makes it the toughest sport in high school, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So if you can do little things like having fun and doing things, and believe me, I try to as well. But, as a head coach, you're overseeing a lot of stuff. And I've learned that being a head coach is a lot different than being an assistant coach. Being an assistant, you can build different types of relationships that you can as a head coach. Not to say you can't build relationships as a head coach, but it's just different. You have a lot more roles and responsibilities that you're overseeing. So let's say with those two ends, we have a lot of characters on our team, but just, I guess that.
I love it. No, it's a good answer. Okay. Let me see here. Social media. How can we follow the squad?
Really, what we just have we have a Facebook page, McGuffey Wrestling. We have that. We have, you're probably going to be more geared towards that. We have our McGuffey Youth Wrestling as well, but our McGuffey Wrestling Facebook page, our boosters are really good with posting different events, pictures, things on that. So we have a Facebook page, McGuffey Wrestling.
All right. Goals and expectations you have for this year. Obviously, you guys had a fantastic year last year. You found yourself in the Final Four there at Peters Township. What do you feel like you can do this year?
I guess the starting goal, we'd want to be repeat section champs again. We won sections for the first time last year since I think it was 2017. We definitely have that on our list. And, we have a goal. We want to be WPIAL champs. That's a goal that we have. I think there's a couple hammers ahead of us. But, we in preseason rankings, you got, Derry, you got Burl. But I think we're up there with, everyone else. And that's a goal that we have. We want to be WPIAL champs as a team. I'd like to send more guys to Hershey this year. I think we have guys on this roster that can go. I think we also have guys on the roster that can bring him some hardware from Hershey. It's been a little while. Ethan Barr was the last one, if I recall, that did bring home a medal from states. So I think not just one. I think we have multiple guys that could do that. Mm-hmm. I think we could set a goal maybe to repeat Tri-Cata, win that again. I think that'd be great. I mean, if we can knock off teams like Trinity and Canamac, two Washington County AAA powerhouses, things like that, and just continue with our success. Other things, we won John Marshall last year. We'd like to do that. If we could finish as high, if not higher, at the Panther Classic, things like that, maybe go undefeated in our dual meets. I think that'd be great. And another goal, even if we don't win WPIALs, make it to the state tournament. We did last year, but we didn't get to go to that final bracket. I think this year I think it's a little different this year. I don't think you have to. I think they're taking more teams to Johnstown this year, if I'm correct.
Right. Yeah, because it's I have to look at how it all is formatted, but I believe if you win if you're in the top 3, I think you go to Johnstown. I have to look at it there. I could be completely wrong.
Okay. But, but that'd be cool to go there and compete in a state tournament there. And plus, if we would get to do that, I'd be excited for that because that's 2 hours closer than Hershey is to us. So it's not that far, and you're still in an arena style setting, and you're competing in a state tournament. As far as I know, and I think I'm correct, McGuffey never got to wrestle like at Hershey in the state tournament. They did get to go to the state tournament because I think 99 was like the first year when that got started. I think it was just like held at high schools and like,
No, I mean, I know you guys have rich history, but I know that it was later whenever the PIAA like team duels started, and obviously now they moved to Johnstown. It's the whole thing. But either way, you guys are obviously on the rise. You have a great youth program, great junior high program, getting ready to push up to you guys. That doesn't happen without people behind the scenes. Give me some people that, booster program, some people that, you want to shed some light on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot behind that. I mentioned my coaching staff. All these guys are great guys to have. Being a head coach, sometimes you get a lot of recognition. It's not just me. There's a lot of knowledgeable, good people in this program. And from junior high to varsity, I mentioned that there's youth coaches that are helping out. We're bringing back dads that have been very successful in this program. And that's what helps programs keep going when these guys come back around and guys that know what they're doing and want, to invest in their home school. I didn't go to school here, but I'm from here now. We live here. I teach here. My kids go to school here. So we're invested in it heavily right now. We have a really strong booster organization with people that have been involved in the program for a long time. They're great. Anything we ask, they give us. They're great at raising money. We run a really successful youth tournament in the mid-season. And, these guys do a great job. It's a good fundraiser for us, but it's a good, well-known youth tournament. And, it helps out. I have the varsity kids working that. So, it's a good community. We build together. The administration, the community, everyone's behind wrestling. They enjoy wrestling out here. So our principal, I got to give a shout out to him. He's filling in as the AD right now, which isn't an easy job. He's running K-12 as well as filling in as our AD because he's the interim until we hire someone. So I've been working with him, and he's done a great job.
What's his name? Got to give him some love, man. Give him some love.
Mr. Mark Bonus.
Mr. Bonus, you're doing a great job, my friend. Woo.
Yeah, we had an AD at the start of this season, but he left, and he recently left within the last few weeks, and Mr. Bonus has been filling in until someone is going to be hired. But, it's a big job that he's filling, not only as a principal, but an AD. And we've been doing some last-minute things with the schedule and transportation, talking about that and things like that. So without people that are supporting, it makes it really hard if you don't have that support. And I have that support. We have that support. And that's what makes this program successful, and people want to keep working and doing well here.
Coach, how can we follow your squad this year, social media-wise?
Like I said, the best way would just be following on Facebook. We have our McGuffey Wrestling that's on Facebook. You can follow our boosters that are involved in our program. They post stuff on there all the time. So that's the best way right now. Okay.
Cool. All right. Anything or anyone you want to shout out before I leave you go?
No, I always give recognition to my family. Especially my wife. She puts up with a lot. We have 3 kids. It's not easy, when, you and your wife work.
You're on that zone coverage, brother. That you go from the man to the zone. That's what I've been talking about. I got 2, and I'm thinking about going to 3, but everyone tells me that man to zone coverage is no joke.
It's a lot. And we're full-fledged into their activities, their sports. I think I told you earlier, my son, he had wrestling practice tonight. So it's like we're going from one thing to the next. We're working as a team, but she definitely supports it. And she understands. She's been with me a long time since I've wrestled and so forth. So she understands it's a big part of my life, in our life too. Our son, he's going through it now too. So we're dealing with that and kind of seeing it as a different way. You see it as a different way as a dad than you do as a coach. You get a little bit different butterflies, I guess you could say, than you do when you're coaching. So.
I am not. Mine's 5. I'm not ready for that yet. We're starting to do the little penetration steps and being in the room, but it's a process.
And being involved in wrestling for 30 some years here, I know what it's like. You can't push these kids too much. You'll see the people that are getting them involved too young, and they push them too much, and then they burn them out. And then what's it all for? If they're done. So you don't want to push too hard. It's a great sport. I love it. It does a lot for you. It builds a lot of character, and it helps you a lot along the way. So it's something that I want my son to experience like I did myself.
Jared, that's where I'm going to leave you go. Fantastic interview, my friend. I cannot wait to see you out there.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Take care.
Appreciate you.